This is Gabriela on the scene today with Talk Network Radio. We have a real treat for you just around the corner, and that is Empowered Living with Jeff Byrd. Jeff is the owner of Jeffrey Byrd Coaching, and he will be coming to you weekly to teach you more about empowered living.
Hello and welcome. I'm Jeff Byrd with Jeffrey Byrd Coaching, and this is Empowered Living. Now, I'm so glad that you joined me today. We are continuing a theme that we started in the last episode, and this is about prospering through cultivating your best ideas. And we said that your idea is like a seed, just like a seed in a garden. That's what your idea is to your life. Your life is the garden. And it's fun to figure out, okay, what seeds do I want to sow in my garden? And then how can I nurture them so that my garden looks like what I want it to look like and what it needs to look like? Maybe it's a necessity. Maybe you're selling the produce. Maybe you're using it for your own health and your well-being. But we get to choose. We have the gift of thought to think about what we want our garden to look like and then to decide which seeds to plant and to sow and to nurture. So, just like if you go shopping for seeds, if you go to your local garden center or some of the superstores, Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart that sell seeds, you have to decide, you have to picture, you could just look at the seeds and go, okay, well, wow, this seed looks nice. Let me figure out what I'm going to do with it. And truth be told, sometimes that's how I shop for seeds. I'm like, oh, this is pretty. Where can I fit this in? The other way to do it, and this is what my wife's been doing, this spring so far. I guess it's still winter, a little bit of winter, but, things are starting to bloom here in Virginia where we are. So it's starting to look like spring. But so this is what she's doing. She's at her sketch pad. She's out with her pencils and she's got her drafting tablet and she's been actually plotting out, measuring things and plotting and figuring out, okay, what needs to go where. So when she does that, she's casting a vision of what she wants the garden to look like. And the parallel to that is casting a vision of what you want your life to look like, right? Do you want to be a teacher? Well, then you're probably going to want to sow some seeds of taking classes that help you learn and help you learn how to teach. It's the same with any field that you want to go into. If you want to be a coach, you're going to need to gain some material, sharpen your coaching saw of how do you coach? How do you interact? How do you help stimulate ideas in people? How do you train people? How do you get the conversations going where the ideas can grow? So, but the question is, what do we want that garden of our life to look like? What should it look like? What should it include? What impact will it have? Just as the plants that we plant, the seeds we plant and grow, impact us through health, through their beauty, through, their taste, their fragrance. So what do we want that garden to look like? So once your life garden begins to take shape, and now this might take a little bit of time. This might not be overnight. You might have one vision and you start moving into that, and then that opens up the door for a broader perspective and new things. So this is probably ongoing. Just think if you're on a straight road toward the horizon, you can see what is it? I think it's about 6 miles, something like that, maybe more or less. But you can see a certain distance. Okay. And that's as far as you can see. It looks like that's all there is. But as you move down that road toward that horizon that you can see, you're going to see farther. New horizons and new vistas are going to open up to you. So that's kind of the way with plotting this out. We plot out, okay, what do I need from what I can see right now for my garden, the garden of my life? And then as we start doing that, we may see, oh, okay, now I'd like to add this here and I'd like to add this there. Now I can see a bigger vision. So once that garden begins to take shape, and again, when it's taking shape where it's going to take some time to reflect, we have to make that time to reflect. We talked about that in the last episode. We have to have that time to think and to reflect on what does it need to look like? What am I gifted in? What am I passionate about? What do I have a drive to help other people with? How do I want to help them be better? What do I want to help them see and do and be? So that's going to take some reflection, and looking at that impact, looking at our purpose, looking at what our gifts are. Then we can start to know, once we get a clear picture of that, which seeds are needed. What seeds need to go in that garden to grow a garden that looks like what I'm envisioning, my idea. And sometimes, most of us would admit that we've planted the wrong seeds and we've let the wrong things grow. Now, when that happens, when the wrong seeds get in and start growing, what do? We need to do some weeding, right? We have to do weeding and start shopping for different and better seed that are in view of what our garden needs to look like. Now, some people will say, my wife says this, she says, a weed is just a flower in the wrong place. So, but what's a weed for you might be something somebody else wants to cultivate, right? A lot of people don't like dandelions. Other people grow dandelions by the boatload so that they can sell the greens for salads because it's a very healthy plant. But you need to figure out what needs to be in your garden. May not be nobody else's garden. What needs to be in your garden to help produce the crop that you want and grow the garden that you want. Now, here's something to think about. A lot of people sow the wrong seeds and then they curse the harvest that they get. I didn't want that. They're disappointed with this and that and the other thing and just go, well, what seeds did you plant? Were you consistent in planting the right seeds and nurturing them? And if you're not happy with it, just start thinking, what seeds do I want? What kind of harvest do I want? What seeds do I need to plant? Start doing those. Don't spend your energy just grumbling about the bad stuff that you planted and the crop you don't want. Start figuring out how to plant the seeds for the crop that you do want. That's going to be a lot more profitable and a lot happier experience in the long run. So, and here's something to remember. Each type of seed only produces one type of plant. Right? Nobody came along and planted a petunia seed and got a Brussels sprout. Ever. It doesn't happen. Each type of seed produces one type of plant. So we have to get really, really clear and constantly review and constantly evaluate and constantly reflect and go, for right now, what seed do I need to be planting? Right? What seed do I need to be planting in order to get the crop that I need right now for me, for my health, for my family, for others, for beauty? What do I need to be planting? So which of your ideas are worth planting and nurturing? We have to ask that question. Which of my ideas are worth planting and nurturing? Because we can have especially creative people, good heavens, creative people, they struggle like crazy because they have so many good ideas that often they can't figure out which is the best idea. And like Jim Collins has shared in his writings, the greatest enemy of the best is the good. So we want to find out, okay, we may have many, many good ideas. Which is the best one right now? Which is the best one and the most needful right now that I need to start planting and start nurturing? And now sometimes we may not have the idea we need. If you can't think of anything, if you're stuck, then maybe you need some help from other people. Maybe there's lots of resources out these days. We're inundated with resources, more good resources that we can take in. But maybe there's something that you kind of resonate with, that you're kind of drawn toward. It's like, oh, that sounds really interesting. I think I need to listen to that. I think I need to read that. I think I need to have a conversation with so-and-so. So you can start out, if you don't have your own clear idea yet, you can start out by borrowing ideas from other people. And you put enough of those in, probably you're going to get to where your thinking is stimulated and you're coming up with your own ideas that you want to plant in your garden and bringing those ideas into alignment with your vision for your garden. Where does that need to be? How's that going to benefit things? What do I need to do to keep that growing? So, now the beautiful thing about this life is that the seed you need may not already exist. At least exist in the material or exist in somebody else's idea. You may be able to come up with a brand new idea. An idea. Now, it's not brand new because in God's mind, in the eternal picture, it's always been there. Nothing's created or destroyed. We've been taught that. So it's always there, but nobody else has ever become aware of it. They haven't seen a need. They haven't had a vision that particular idea can grow to fulfill. So, the seed that you need may not already exist, but you are gifted. You're a seed generator. You're a seed finder. It's like in that divine store, that divine garden center, you can go and go, okay, wow, I think I need this in my garden, but nobody else seems to have it. You can go to that divine garden center and start asking, go, hey, this is what I need in the garden. How can this happen? And you can get a new idea, new as far as all the people around you and for this world experience. There's plenty of them out there. Think if all of the ideas have created the world that we know, and we know that there's lots of need in this world, then there's all these other ideas that can help resolve that need. And you might be the one to find it and work with other people and bring it to completeness and to fruition. So you're a creator. Think of yourself as a creator. You're an idea creator. You're a conduit for ideas, good ideas to flow into the world from the eternal and divine realm. We're made in the image of God, and He's creator. He speaks. He has an idea, right? And then He speaks it, and then boom, it exists. That's just how it is. So it's the same way. He gives us ideas. We come to be aware of ideas, and then we do something with that idea, and boom, something new exists, right? And everything we know in this life has come about in that way. And we have the privilege and the opportunity and the excitement of getting to be involved in that and bring a new idea out into the world and get new results and hopefully better results than has been gotten before.
Jeff will be back shortly to wrap up today's message. This is Gabriela, still on the scene today with Talk Network Radio. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Empowered Living with Jeff Byrd. If you've missed any part of today's message, you can hear it again online, as well as the entire archive of Empowered Living at www.talknetworkradio.com or search keyword #Empowered Living. If you would like to learn more about Jeffrey Byrd Coaching, visit www.jeffbyrdcoaching.com. That is JEFFBYRD coaching.com. Do a Facebook search for @CoachingRocks or drop Jeff a line at jeff@jeffbyrdcoaching.com. Again, JEFFBYRD coaching.com. Now, let's go back to Jeff for the rest of today's message.
So what's needed in your garden that you can't get elsewhere? What do you need in your garden? Okay. And think about that and write it down even. I highly encourage that. Write it down. And what will it look like? What benefit will it have for you, for other people? So many ideas may come to you, like we said, especially if you're a highly creative person. Heaven help you, because you're going to have all kinds of ideas. But just having ideas doesn't get anything done. You have to choose one of them and run with it. So many ideas may come to you, but asking some questions will help you narrow down your focus and clarify. We're back to clarity again. Clarify your needed seed idea. What is needed? What's most important right now? So let's clarify what that is, and then start thinking about what ideas do you have, or that you can borrow from other people until you get your own, that can help grow that area of life into what's needed. So our review for today, I want you to, and this is really fun. Think about what the garden of your life would look like. What would you like it to look like? Okay. Maybe you're there. Maybe you're like, wow, I love my garden. I just want to grow more and more of the same thing. Or maybe you're like, oh, wow, yeah, I've sown a few bad seed there and need to do a little weeding and need to plant a few more good seeds. So, which seeds do you need to plant to get the harvest that you want? All of us are sowing seeds all the time. And if the harvest that you want isn't what you wanted it to be, don't spend your time being mad about the harvest or cursing the harvest. Spend your time figuring out, okay, what seeds do I need to plant? So we need to ask, what is needed in our garden? What's needed in your garden and that of others that doesn't exist yet? What are we missing? What we'd like to be there